Hey, what's up you guys? It's Armando Torres here again, back with another unboxing, this time on a watch that I was fully ready to check out on Amazon. I had it in my cart, I was punching in my numbers so I could buy it, and then I decided to reach out to them and actually ask them if they were interested in sending me a watch for free for review. And luckily they were super cool, really responsive, and got to me right away saying absolutely, that idea sounds great to us. And they were super cool. Just besides that, they wished me well during this pandemic. They knew that I was from the US, where things are not the best, but we won't get into that here. I am going to get into it in a separate medium, and I'll have more information on my channel as that comes up. But they were super cool, and sure enough, a couple days later I had the watch in my possession. Now this watch is by a company named Neymar, and I know for a lot of people that name automatically brings up a certain soccer player, and that's probably the biggest thing that this company has going against it. And a lot of people, not necessarily myself, since I personally don't make the connection even though I play soccer, I accept that this is the name of the watch brand and that there's a soccer player who also is named that. Like, it's two separate things for me. It doesn't bug me, I guess, especially when you take a look at the specs of this watch, which is a Sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, and a Seiko NH35 movement in there, all for under $200. Now that is exactly in the same ballpark as this watch. I am wearing my Orient Kamasu. I've been wearing this pretty much every day. It's been my daily watch, and I love this thing. The 41.5 millimeter case really sits well on my 6.5 inch wrist, and it also has a sapphire crystal. It has a day and a date, great lume, screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, so it's actually less water resistance and a little bit more money. But of course, 200 meters of water resistance is enough for a lot of people, certainly for myself. 200 meters of water resistance is exactly what we're looking for. Even 100 meters of water resistance is really good. Anything less than 100 meters of water resistance, and yeah, you're probably not getting the best water resistance at 50 meters or even 30 meters of water resistance. So 100 meters is great. 200 meters is perfect. 300 meters is more than you could want, and it's actually useful if you are actually planning to go diving with it, even though this is a little more of a desk diver. But we're gonna get into it, and like I said, this is pretty much its main competition right here. This particular watch I picked up from Joma Shop for $200 exactly, like $199, and I think that's a fantastic value. You get a great brand, a great set of specifications. I love the second hand on this watch. The overall layout, like I said, it reminds me of a Seiko SKS, even though I never had a Seiko SKS and probably never will, because I think that watch is, unpopular opinion, I think that watch is overrated. And I think that it has a great place in its history, but if you're just looking at what it offers, doesn't offer much for almost $300, a full $100 more than this watch, and about $120 more than the Neymar. So enough of the controversy. I'm gonna let you guys be the judge. We're gonna get to the unboxing right now. I'm sure that Neymar would love if you guys head over to Amazon or even their website. It's actually quite a bit more expensive, closer to retail price on their website if you want to check it out. I'll have a link in the description down below, but if you want the real steal, then that's going to be on Amazon, since you can pick these watches up for under $200. Take your pick. There's a bunch on there. They look an awful lot like Tudor homages, but also kind of got their own thing and a little bit of Rolex in there. So I think it has its own unique thing going on, and if you're cool with that and are more just interested in getting a good watch, then I feel like this is going to be a fantastic watch for a lot of people. But again, I'll let you guys be the judge. Let's flip the camera, take a look at the watch, and let's get into it. So here is pretty much the packaging that the watch comes in. It is very straightforward. It comes in this white box, and but the inside is what really matters. And it comes with this really cool kind of matte instruction manual. You can see the kind of embossing of the watch itself on there, which I think is great. And yeah, they have some information on here letting you know the values of the brand, and that's a pretty nice looking watch. Obviously looks a lot like a Rolex. Rose gold, two-tone. Talking about the 2-year international guarantee. Not sure if mine comes with a guarantee since it was sent for free for review. But there you go, guys. It's pretty much what comes with the watch itself. Now, if we take out the box the watch actually comes in, we see Neymar in very interesting font. That's probably another thing that will show up in the cons section of this watch, which there aren't very many cons of this watch for the price, guys. I think at this price range you get a lot of value, and we're gonna get into it. And let's go ahead and open this thing up. So there you go. It snaps open. Neymar right there on the inside, and then the watch itself, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. Still wrapped in plastic. Bam! I'm rhyming left and right. And it also comes with this cool little tool. Let me go ahead and get it off this pillow, which feels really nice. Not gonna lie, it kind of feels like a car seat. So we'll close that and get into the watch. So there you go, guys. You can see the watch sweeping away there. That is the NH35 sweep. And the bracelet feels really good. It feels like it's super articulated. Like it's really, really like, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be really comfortable right off the bat. Neymar right there on the clasp. It is just a pressed clasp. The $176 version on Amazon does come with a milled clasp. I would be very interested to get my hands on that version, and who knows, maybe give one of the two away. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the plastic off of this thing and take a closer look at it. It comes with the N right there, which kind of looks like a Z depending on how you're looking at it, but it is meant to be an N. And yeah, very, very nice looking watch right off the bat. And it's very chunky as well. Like it feels really heavy. But let's go ahead and take the plastic off and get a closer, more actual representation of what it actually looks like. Start by taking off this tag with the brand on there. It says Neymar, $399 US, which is that a ridiculous amount of money for this watch? Maybe. Luckily on Amazon it's not asking for that. It's literally asking for less than half of that, guys. Less than half of the retail price. And again, for that price, I think that this watch is well worth it. So I'll go ahead and take off the plastic. So that is the watch with all of the plastic removed. You do get a very, very nice black dial on there. Lollipop second hand, Mercedes hour hand. Has a screw down crown. Really easy to wind. Hacking. and winding, as I mentioned. Change the date right there. And it's very easy to screw back in. So really great specs at this price. Neymar right there, printed on the 12 o'clock. Water resistant 300 meters right there at the 6 o'clock. The 6 and the 9 have the Arabic indices. You have the date window at the 3 o'clock. You have circular indices everywhere except at the 12, where you do have that triangle. And you have a 120 click rotating bezel, which feels amazing. That is crazy how great that feels. Dude, there is no playback on this at all. My Orient isn't even as good as this bezel. That is crazy. That is ridiculously nice. So it's pretty much an all brushed finish. You get brushed on the sides. Very nice branding right there on the crown. Helium escape valve right there. It is a chunky watch. It's about 15 millimeters thick. Brush finish on the bracelet. So some packaging right there. Neymar right there on the fold over clasp, which again is just a press clasp. Neymar brush right there. And pretty much all the specs on there. Sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, and automatic movement on there, which it is the Seiko NH35, which is a fantastic movement. All in all, guys, a really fantastic looking and feeling watch. I'm gonna go ahead and size this up and show you guys what it looks like on wrist. It is very top heavy. It's a very heavy watch, but you know, that's kind of what you expect from dive watches that can allegedly go down to 300 meters. And with this type of build, the fact that it's a helium escape valve, the fact that it's a closed case back, and the fact that it is a screw down crown, I fully believe that that is what it is capable of. That bezel feels absolutely amazing, and I feel like the design of the watch overall works really well, even with that 6 and that 9 that isn't going to work for some people. Personally, I feel like it works really well. And yeah, all in all, I feel like it's a very great feeling watch. You can feel that it is very quality right off the bat. And yeah, I would have been very happy to purchase this watch regular price on Amazon, and luckily I got it sent for free. But if you guys are interested in picking this up, it is well worth the money just off my initial impression. So I'm gonna go ahead and size it up, and then we can get into the sizing in a little bit. Okay, guys? So here is the watch on my 6.5 inch wrist for reference, guys, and I gotta say that I am super impressed with the overall fit, finish, and build quality on this watch. I mean, what Neymar has been able to accomplish under the $200 mark is nothing short of impressive. I mean, this thing is solid. This thing is built like a tank, and certainly that feeling has a lot to do with the dimensions of this watch, which we will go over in a little bit. But also a telltale sign of this is just the bezel, which might not seem like a big thing. I mean, for me, maybe I've taken bezels for granted in the past, but a good bezel is really nice to have, and the bezel on this Neymar is fantastic. Now, speaking of the fit and finish on this watch, I mean, it's definitely a big chunky watch. You might want to wear this a little bit tighter than you would other watches just because of that heft. Luckily, there is a slight curvature to those lugs that I think will fit a majority of wrist sizes. And certainly a lot of people, I think this watch may appeal to them. We'll go over a couple reasons why it might not appeal to everyone. But I do think that this watch has a lot to offer. Certainly if you have never owned an automatic watch before, or are just into the Tudor/Rolex styling of this watch, then I think that this watch will fit a variety of different wrist sizes. 50 mil is pretty big. That's the lug to lug length on this watch, and it's probably the biggest I'd ever wear my watches. I've mentioned that in previous videos. specifically on the main, which is also 50 mil, and the glycine, which is also 50 mil, but those watches are considerably thinner than this watch, and I think that has to do with the watch that this watch is homaging, which is the Tudor Black Bay, which is a notoriously thick watch. I think overall, I think that this watch has a lot going for it. I'm showing off that double dome sapphire crystal, but I think that if Neymar changed the font of this brand, which now I'm getting into the reasons why someone might not like this, is that name brand, for some people, they're just not going to be able to disconnect this watch from the soccer player. And I think that's the main objective of the BLWRX brand that Neymar started as well, selling off pretty much the exact same watch, but in different dimensions, and with that Bulwark's logo on there instead of Neymar. I think if they changed the E to an A, I think that would I think that would be enough, and changing the font also. But clearly, the main company to credit for the timeless design on this watch is Rolex. I mean, I think that Rolex has a big part to do with how awesome this watch looks, but Neymar really does a good job of taking that timeless design and making it their own with that Arabic 6 and 9. All applied indices, all look really great. And yeah, I think that that is a design that most people will like if they can get over those brandings. 3 micro adjusts on the clasp is what I'm showing off here. I think 3 is the minimum amount of micro adjust any watch should have. This is a pressed clasp, as mentioned before. The $176 version on Amazon, again, the red and the black bezel versions of this watch have what they call a solid buckle, which I believe is just a milled clasp, which I would be super interested in checking out. But the bracelet, I think, is exactly the same on both stylings and across all the watches. So the bracelet is really solid, really articulated, has a brushed finish, which is really nice and has a nice sheen. The watch has a 41.5mm case size, which I think is a good size. 50 mil thick, 50.5 mil thick, I think that's where it starts to gain some size, and the 15 mil thickness as well. 22 millimeters at the top of the bracelet, tapering down to 20, so a good little taper there, and back up to 22 at the clasp. Now, I did want to do a sapphire crystal test as well. Not as strong of a reading as I would have liked, but still sapphire, and still very nice double dome sapphire on there. Here is the lume, and the lume is, I think, really good. It's BGW9 lume. I was wearing the watch on my wrist when I took this footage, so I don't know why. I should have just laid it flat on my desk, but I think that it gets the point across of showing you guys that it is very usable, very nice blue BGW9 lume. So there you go, guys. A watch by a company that offers you 300 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, and NH35 movement. Very classic looking Rolex style with a little bit of Tudor in there. Honestly, I think it's a really great offering. If you are looking for a watch under $200 that offers these things, and you're okay with the name, and you are okay with the fact that it's an homage, then I personally think that you can do a lot worse for the money than this watch. I think that it packs a punch well above its weight class, well above its pricing. Great rotating bezel, great screw down crown, and a really great handset on this watch as well. I think it sits on your wrist really well. I feel like it certainly fits on my wrist really well. I think it compares to the Orient in many ways. I think that actually it is very similar in terms of what it offers, and some things it does even better than the Orient. So that's coming from a watch that I just got compared to a watch that I've already been having. I'm confident in saying that. But definitely a great watch for the value. If you are interested in picking one up, again, I have the link in the description down below. Definitely check them out. If you are looking for a watch in this price range that is a great automatic watch with a lot of specs, and again, if you're okay with the name, then definitely worth checking out. But does it pack more value than, say, an Orient? Ultimately, that is subjective, and it's up to you to decide what value means. Is it a list of specs, or is it something that you feel that you can wear for a really, really long time and, you know, be okay with what it offers? And I honestly think that, you know, Neymar offers a really, really great set of watches. Some of the other watches are a little bit too big for me. I'm actually looking at picking up one of their dress style watches at 40 millimeters, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm very, very impressed with the watch that they sent me. I'm definitely looking forward to testing this thing and wearing it for the next couple of days to a week and seeing how accurate it is. It's an NH35 movement, so I'm expecting great things. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this watch in the comment section down below. If you guys want to pick one up, I have some in the link. Make sure to support the channel by giving this a like, favorite, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And if you guys want to follow my Instagram, I am at Mondo the Watch Guy on Instagram. And make sure to, yeah, just keep on supporting the channel, guys. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, until next time, guys. See you later.